The story began with a high school second-year student named Usato Ken. Ken was at school, waiting for the rain to stop outside. He loved fantasy worlds. And while sitting indoors, Ken daydreamed about having magic. He wished he could use magic to go home without getting wet from the rain. He hoped for something exciting or dramatic to happen to him. At the same time, the student council had two famous students, Vice President Kazuki and President Suzune. Kazuki was a good-looking boy with a friendly nature. Suzune, on the other hand, was a smart and beautiful girl. Ken had a crush on Suzune and wished to be friends with them. He heard rumors that Kazuki and Suzune might have been dating. While Ken was sitting, Suzune saw him and asked if he had forgotten his umbrella. Ken replied that he didn't have an umbrella. To his astonishment, Kazuki kindly offered his umbrella to Ken. Kazuki mentioned that it was okay for Ken to use his first name when addressing him. Ken expressed his gratitude, and then asked Kazuki to use his first name. Suzune also joined the conversation and asked if she could call Ken by his first name. Ken felt flattered by Suzune's request. After that, the three of them began walking home together. During the walk, Kazuki turned to Ken and asked what he wanted to do after graduating. Ken replied that he had not decided since he was only in his second year. Then, Kazuki turned to Suzune and inquired about her plans. Suzune shared that she hadn't made a decision either, but she expressed confidence that if she set a goal, she could quickly achieve it. Suzune added that there were moments when she felt like she didn't quite fit in at the school and wasn't joking about it. During their conversation, Ken suddenly asked Kazuki and Suzune a question. He wondered if the two of them were dating. Kazuki quickly clarified that it might be easy to misunderstand. Still, their closeness was mainly due to their responsibilities in the student council, which required them to spend much time together. As they were discussing this topic, they heard something above them. Suzune and Kazuki turned to Ken, asking if he had heard something unusual. Ken, however, denied hearing anything. But all of a sudden, a mysterious magic circle formed on the ground right where they were standing. This surprising event left all three of them amazed and shocked. Ken then expressed his disbelief, suggesting that it couldn't possibly be that they were being summoned to another world. Suzune and Kazuki, not understanding what Ken was talking about, exchanged puzzled glances. Suzune inquired if Ken was referring to a world where magic and heroes existed. Upon hearing Suzune's words, Ken thought he would get along nicely with her in that world. Suddenly, there was a magical transformation, and they were transported to a completely different place. As they stood up from the ground, they realized they had no idea where they were. Their attention was immediately drawn to an older man sitting before them. Upon seeing the old man, they were all taken aback. The older man introduced himself as Lloyd, the king of the kingdom of Lingle. They found themselves inside the castle, standing in front of the king. Lloyd then explained that they had been summoned to his kingdom as heroes. When hearing this, Suzune's face lit up with excitement and happiness, while Ken and Kazuki remained shocked. The king revealed that the Demon King had been resurrected and steadily spread his influence. The kingdom had faced attacks before and feared another attack could happen. Thus they summoned heroes from another world with the qualities needed to defeat the Demon King. The king further elaborated that they had been summoned through a forbidden technique triggered by the sound of a bell. As the explanation unfolded, Suzune's excitement manifested in soft giggles. However, it gradually dawned on Suzune, Kazuki, and Ken that Ken was the only one who hadn't heard the bell. Despite this, he had inexplicably been brought along with them. Upon learning about the situation, the king was taken aback. He apologized to Ken and explained that he would like to send Ken back, but the summoning process was unidirectional, and Ken would have to wait to return. Kazuki's face showed signs of worry, and he raised his voice, questioning why they couldn't return. He expressed his concern about their loved ones and the goals they had set, all of which now seemed to have vanished. The king acknowledged the desperation of the situation and understood their feelings. He revealed that they wished to protect the kingdom, and, by extension, the world. The king promised to actively search for a means to send them back to their world. However, in the interim, he implored them to lend their strength to his cause. With a somber expression, the king took a seat and earnestly requested their assistance. Witnessing this display, Ken, Suzune, and Kazuki were left in a state of shock, unsure of how to proceed. Kazuki showed understanding and willingness to assist the king's cause. This prompted everyone in the kingdom to express their gratitude and respect. Subsequently, they found themselves in the library, meeting the mage assigned to assist them. She informed them that she would gauge their magical abilities using crystals. The mage clarified that magic came in various forms, like fire, water, and lightning, and there were others, like transportation and illusion. She suggested they begin by exploring the basics. The mage requested Kazuki to offer his hand for the testing. The mage placed his hand on the crystal and declared that Kazuki possessed the abilities of a light element hero. Kazuki remained astonished by this revelation and contemplated the potential applications of his newfound lightning spell. Suzune, filled with excitement, told Kazuki that he could summon a sword of light and create beams using his new powers. Eagerly, Suzune turned to the mage and asked for her turn to be tested. The mage explained that the light element was among the highest ranking and rare. Following this, Suzune placed her hand on the crystal.